Hey everybody, it's Robin Scherzer with Robin Stampin' Hood. Welcome to my May in color class. We are doing Petunia Pop and we're going to make 3 cards today. So I love the new in colors this year. They make me happy. They make my heart sing. So I have a club that comes to my house and they put together 3 cards and some of them can't come. So this video is for them and for you. So I hope you enjoy it. So the first card we're going to do, you're going to need your card base at 5.5 by 8.5. Easy peasy. That's just a cardstock cut right in half. So we're just going to go ahead and burnish it there. Excuse me. And then we're going to go ahead and put together the inside. I just like to have a white piece on the inside so somebody can write in it if you need to write in it. And this piece is a little bit smaller than my normal panels. I've kind of grown accustomed to the 5 by 3.25 panels. So that's what this one is, but it's totally your choice. Shows a little bit more color around the base of the card. So we're just going to put that in there before I forget. Which is always a possibility. All right, so what I've gone ahead and done is I have taken some of the In Color Designer Series paper, which is part of the class if you sign up through me. So they come in 6 by 6 and I've just cut some down and it's totally up to you. I just wanted to kind of show the different things that we have. So the first strip that you're gonna cut is, this is 5.5 by 1.5. So we're just going to layer it on the front of the card and I'm going to leave a little bit of edge there so you can see some of the card base, but that's totally up to you. If you want to make this a little bit shorter so you have the frame, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to lay that there. Beautiful. And then I've cut 3 other strips that are 5.5 by 3.25. So we're just going to showcase some of the paper. And I really like and I've used the heck out of this paper. So normally I would do all 4 different designs, but I've used this paper so much that we're just not going to do that on this one because I don't have enough. I just love this paper. All right, so I'm pushing it into place to give it that little bit of you can see there's a little bit of cardstock right there. And then I'm going to take this one, do the same thing. Easy peasy. All right, a little bit of a gap there. I'm just lining it up. It should be good. And if it's not perfect, that's okay too. So then I'm just going to do the little circles again. I think we struggle. Some of us struggle with it has to be perfect, and it does not have to be perfect. It is handmade, and as close to perfect is good enough for me. So that is what your base is going to look like, okay? So now I've cut out some of these circles from the the Spotlight of Nature, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp in Memento ink this cute butterfly, but I need to grab my cute butterfly. All right, here we go. So tap, tap, tap. And we're gonna just right in the middle. Beautiful. Right in the middle. Beautiful. I love that. Very, very nice. Okay. So we always, you know why we have this out? Let's go ahead. I might have to find that stamp set, so we'll wait on that a second. So we're going to use our blends now to color this. Okay, so then we have the Petunia Pop blends. And what I like about, in case you don't know, the blends have this thick line and this thin line. And the thick line tells you this is the brush end, and the thin line says it's the pointed end. So keep that in mind so then you're not always pulling off the caps trying to figure out what side you need. Now, Stampin' Up! Has given you kind of guidelines when you do this. Now, this is the dark. You can see the dark. And I'm just gonna go through with my marker and I'm gonna color on where they have told me there's dark. So I'm just coloring in the dark lines. I went over a little bit, but that's okay. Let's do it on this one too while I have it open. And you're just, because they've kind of given you the guidelines of this is where the shadows are going to be and the darker of what you're using. So then I'm going to come in with my light and I'm going to use the brush on now because I want to just get it all put together. And we're going to do that. And I kind of like to swirl it because then it brings it. And you know, you have to wait for it to dry because sometimes when you're doing it, it looks like you go, ew. That does not look good. But once it dries, it just totally changes it. So we're gonna just do the same thing over here. And you'll be able to see some of the blending that you do. So I'm just blending, blending, blending. And you have to use Memento ink because otherwise the markers will start to color the black that is in the ink of like a StazOn or a different type of black. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more, like a little bit more dimension here. So we're going to do that, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, which, oh, Stella, I love her, and just give my butterflies some sparkle. Wink of Stella is the best. I love it, love it, love it. So we're going to do that. Do that. Yes, yes, yes. Love it, love it, love it. Can you see the sparkle on our butterfly? I love it. So if you don't have Wink of Stella, you need to get Wink of Stella because it just makes everything better. All right, so she's all done there. We're gonna let that dry. And now let's come in here. I'm gonna do my tag. Like I said, I don't know what happened to my original stamp, so we're gonna stamp a thank you. And this is part of the Unbounded Love, I believe, the labels. So I'm just gonna use my Memento again, take my thanks, and we're gonna go ahead and just stamp right there. I'm a little off, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And here's the nice thing about this glass mat is because I just did that, it just wipes right off. So there you go. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this together. Oh, one of the beautiful things about this, the new ink colors, is they have glimmer paper. So I went ahead and punched out ahead of time this beautiful, beautiful glimmer paper with the bow punch. I love the bow punch. It's just small enough that it gives it just the right kind of something that you need. So let's go ahead and assemble this card. So we're just going to take our two pieces and we're going to put one right here. Pretty, 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 pretty. I'm just not touching the Wink of Stella because it does need a little time to dry. I mean, it dries relatively quickly, but why smear it, right? So we're gonna do that. Beautiful. Okay. And then let's come along and we're gonna put this in between, the thanks in between, but I'm gonna add my little bow pieces to this. And I think what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna add them with my dimensionals. And let me grab a sheet of dimensionals here. I know I have one. And we're gonna go ahead and just put that, let's see, let's look at it a little bit here, shall we? So, do I want it to come down? Oh, I might, let's do that, let's try that. We're just gonna do, I'm putting that right on there and that'll pop it up how I want it anyways. Let's get that off, but we need one more at least dimensional. We don't want that sinking down, right? If you're hearing little clicking noises, we are dog sitting and he's down here wandering around, wondering who I'm talking to. Okay, let's see. Oh, there you go. I love the glimmer. I just love it. Okay, but I need a little something else because you know that's what I like to do. I need that little something else. So I have used the heck again out of the In Color Shimmer Gems. So I only have a few of this color left, which is perfect. It'll finish this card off nicely. So I am going to put, I have one large one. Actually, that's not that color, is it? That's the Pretty in Pink. So I actually have 3 up here. So let's go ahead. We're going to put one here and one here and then one up here. I'm not really making my rectangle, or my triangle, but that still works for me. So there you go. There is card number 1. Super pretty, easy. You could, if you had some leftover DSP, you could put it in your card. Let's see, I think I actually might have some. So let's see, let's do that right now, shall we? We'll finish this little card up and we can do that along there. And I said that was 5 inches. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut this to 5 inches really quick. And we'll have one of our cards finished. Oops. I just like that extra. If you have the extra DSP, you definitely want to use it. Okay, so we got our glue on there. I might have done a little bit too much glue. Whoops, there goes the dog up the stairs. Did you hear that? Okay, so there we have that and that. Very, very pretty. All right, on to card 2. Okay, the second card for our Petunia Pop is this card here. And again, I'm using, well, this time I'm using the Spotlight on Nature, the stamp set, and I've already gone ahead and stamped it. But I'm also using some of the new dies from there. And of course, I don't have them here to show you, but there you go. So we're just gonna go ahead and color this in real quick. Super easy using the Petunia blends. And again, I look at what Stampin' Up! Has done for me already. So I'm looking for the dark ones and I'm just gonna use the pointed end and I'm gonna color in where it's dark from what Stampin' Up! Has told me with the stamp, which I think just makes it so much nicer. And then you can blend it. And you guys, I know sometimes when you look at these, you go, oh my God, it looks so horrible. But you got to work with it a little bit. You got to play just a little bit to see how it actually starts to blend together. And when it dries a little different too. So don't be afraid to use your blends. They're just so much nicer than the markers. Now I love the markers when I want to do 2-tone stamping. You know, if I have a solid stamp that I want it to be in 2 different colors, the markers are perfect for that. So these blends are perfect for coloring. You're not getting the brush mark that you normally get with the markers. So we'll go ahead, color these in. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and I used the Mossy Meadow, I guess. But you know what? I'm going to find my light one here. Hold on. Actually, I used my Old Olive. So we're going to go ahead and color that in real quick. This is the light. This is the dark. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go where Stampin' Up! Has already told me there's shadows. I'm going to go ahead and do my dark, and I think I'll do the dark along the stem as well, because that's dark. And this is where it's nice, where you have 2 different kinds of tips, because you can have the thin, and you have the brush mark for the smaller. So we'll just go ahead, I'm gonna color those in. I just love the blends, you guys. Okay. So you get it. Gotta color in those. All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and finish the card. So you can see I have thanks there, and I'm just going to grab my thanks stamp, and that again is from the Spotlight on Nature. So we'll go ahead and stamp that on Memento. Oh, pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. All right, and then we are going to take our card base. Now I did cut, this is one of the new embossing folders from the May, annual catalog. They're big. They can do a whole 8.5 by 5.5 sheet. So I made sure I centered it to give me the swirly swirls that I wanted. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna actually flip it upside down. It gives it a little bit of a different impression than this. So this is what we would call the embossed side, and this is what I would call the de-embossed side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the de-embossed side. And then it also makes it a little bit easier when it comes to putting things on the surface. Because sometimes when this is so bumpy like that, it's a little hard. Here, we can do this. My glue just doesn't want to cooperate. All right, there we go. It's sometimes harder to put things down on the bumpy side or on the embossed side. So that's why I like that. And you don't need dimensionals. Can you see that? Like, it pops it off of the paper because of the embossing on that side. So don't be afraid to use either side, either your embossed or your non-embossed side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hold that down for a second because it is so bumpy. It wants to disengage itself. So we're just gonna make sure it's nice and tight down there. Okay, so now we're gonna take what I've colored here, and I'm just gonna, let's see, we're gonna lay it like this, but I'm gonna put that up here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the side of it so it's not sticking down, because we're gonna pop this up because we're gonna put some ribbon underneath it. So let me grab my ribbon scissors. So we have this ribbon that you can get in the main catalog. It's on page, I don't know, but it's the Petal Pink and White combo pack. And I really wanted to do a little bit more than just all Petunia pink. So I grabbed some of this, and I'm gonna grab some of the Petunia as well, about the same length. And then I'm just gonna kind of create you can kind of see what I did here, just created like a little underneath it to hang. Hopefully I cut enough. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure they're even. Yeah, I did a pretty good job cutting it even. And then we're gonna just lay it down. So we have a little peeking off the top and some peeking off the bottom. And what I'm gonna do, because I want to pop it up, is I'm gonna just use my dimensionals to hold it down for now. And that always works really good. All right. This is such an easy card, you guys. You just gotta have all the right tools. You know, when I first started stamping, I didn't have all the right tools, and it was super frustrating to do things and not have what you needed to make whatever card you were looking to make. I'm gonna put a few more over here. And then I realized I needed to get a little bit more pickier with all the things that I was buying. So I always make sure that, even though I do love the stamp sets, that I have all the tools. I especially like these kinds of dies that you can cut out different shapes. And I like, of course, the embossing folders. So anything to help jazz up your card, right? Okay. Oh, did I do that wrong? I did, you guys. Look at that. Is what's called Adventures with Me. So let's pull this off. I did it. I didn't flip my card right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's see. We're going to do, this is called Emergency Stamping 101. That's okay. I'm just pulling off. Now I want to make sure I do this right. So it's actually laying this way. And see, oh my gosh, I'm cracking myself up. All right, so we're gonna put this back down. Again, I just want a little bit of the ribbon showing through, and we'll see if we can make this a little bit better here. I just went to town on all those dimensionals and then did it wrong. Oh well. What's the fun? What's the joy? Right? Okay. So let's flip that back over and see. Oh, that's okay. It kind of works. I am not so worried about it. Maybe don't put your label on first. Okay, there we go. Oh well. It's gonna look a little silly, but it's okay. I'm totally okay with it. Whoever gets it is just going to be happy to get a card, so I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. Okay, but you guys do know that I need my bling, and even though my embellishment, I have some ribbon in there, which is not looking the best, I'm still going to grab some of these embellishments, and we're going to go ahead and try to find my poker. That's a good job. We'll grab this poker here. And let's see, we'll do this and this. Don't judge me. And that. And there you go. So you do need to put an inside to this card, so I'm going to go ahead and do that too. Like I said, I've been kind of liking the 5 by 3 1/4. But I think I'm going to add to this one just a little bit. Give it a little jazzy. Go ahead and line it in black on the inside. So my white piece is 5 by 3 3/4, and my black piece is 4 by 5 1/4. So what our normal, you know, what we take down 1/4 of an inch. I'm still laughing about my ribbon. It's okay. I'll send it to someone whose eyesight isn't the best. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right. And there you have it. Super cute, simple card using Petunia Pop. So that's card number 2. Okay, so this is our third and final card. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that we've done this card before, but I just love it so much that I wanted to use it with my in colors. So we are doing it with the in colors. Okay. So your first thing is you're going to cut your card base, obviously, to 8.5 by 5.5. And let's go ahead and put our inside piece in. Again, I'm just using the smaller inside piece of the 5 by 3 1/4. Okay. And then what I wanted to do, I didn't want it to be so just all that paper. So I took another piece of white and I cut my designer series paper to 5 by 3 1/4. And I'm actually, this will be a little bit different from this one, but that's okay, right? I think I want that side. So you're gonna cut your designer series paper to fit on a panel that is, this white panel is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So got that, and then we're going to go ahead and our designer series paper, like I said, is 5 by 3 1/4. So we'll go ahead and put that on. All right. Easy peasy. All right. So then we want to go ahead, I'm going to set this aside since we have no more stamping on it, but I'm going to go and grab my little piece here, and we'll go ahead and stamp that right away. If I can get it out of the package, there we go. And again, because I don't know where my dear friend has made it off to, I'm just going to do a thanks on this. I always need thanks, thanks, thanks. So I will be just doing another thanks. There you go. And I'm doing it in the black instead of that. I just felt like there was a little too much Petunia pop. So we'll clean this out of the way and move on to how to make that fun pinwheel. Okay, so you will need 2 squares that are 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna make our little star piece. So you can see how it kind of looks like a star, right? So I'm just gonna kind of line it up. I'm using my grid paper here, and I'm just kind of lining up to make sure my points are straight. And then I'm just gonna lay this one on top. So we're just gonna do a little bit of that. And then this is gonna be straight. And again, I'm just kind of using my grid paper. I'm a little off, so I'm gonna move it over just a little bit. But I'm using my grid paper to make sure it's level, if that makes sense. And that's why I'm using glue as well. So if it looks really off balance, I can fix it, but that looks good. So then you need 8 pieces, and these are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So what you're gonna do is you're going to kind of look at how you want. I'm just gonna randomly do them. I'm gonna make sure my designs are different, but they're not gonna be like every other like this. They're just kind of all mixed up here with what I have. So you're going to start. Now, the important one is that when you start it, you wanna leave, you don't wanna do it all the way down. You wanna leave enough to slip your piece under. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue, and you'll see what I mean at the end here. So I'm going to I just put a little there, okay? So I'm kind of framing it out with my white, as you can see. And then I'm gonna take my next one and I'm gonna lay it like that. But I wanna make sure too, because mine are pretty rando. So I'm just gonna make sure that my design is okay as I'm laying them down, if you know what I mean. So I think like this, I probably need to come back in with this one because it's different. But then I could probably come back in with this one. And then what's the next one I did? This one. And then, oops, I have the striped one. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to have one more here like that. But we're gonna do some slipping and sliding underneath. So I just wanna make sure that mine are more cohesive that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I just messed that all up, but that's okay. So you want to start in this corner and then go up here. And you'll see what I mean. I actually probably put my glue on, you should actually put your glue up here. So I apologize for that. I did mess that up. The glue should go up here. So I'm actually going to take my little spatula and kind of give it a little, and you'll see why when we get to that part of it. It'll still work, but it'll be easier for yourself if you put the glue just right up here and start up here. So let's finish our little wheel and you'll see what I mean. I got a little excited. So then you're gonna lay this over. Again, make sure you got the border in there too, okay? All right. And then the next one. And just keep going up to the corners of your little pinwheel that you created. Okay. And then the next one should be, oops, wait. I need that one. I forgot what I had cut. All right. So then that goes on that corner. Okay. And then I'm back to this pattern. Okay, we're getting there, yay. And then this pattern. Okay, and you can see how the pinwheel's starting to form there. How fun is that? Okay, and then we have this one. I felt like I had another one, but did I drop it? I might have. Okay, so then we have this. All right, so now we're up to where we started. And this is where I'm gonna use this side, and this is where you'll have to tuck this in. So when I was talking about your gluing, make sure you glue, keep this flap open, because what I'm gonna do then is I'm going to slide this in. And again, I did it wrong, so don't do it wrong. Don't follow what I told you, but do what I'm saying to do now. I'm actually going to take my spatula and get a little bit more of that off. It's not wanting to slide the way it should. See, you can fix everything, you guys. Okay? All right. Ooh, much better. All right. See, I make tons of mistakes, as my club members can tell you. Okay, so you're sliding that in, and then what you're gonna do is take your glue, come back with this, and put it down. And I probably just put way too much glue in there. Let's see. Yep, I did. That's okay. Again, it's all okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this piece on here. Got a little glue on there, so we're going to flip it over here. I'm trying to decide. I'll do that. All right. Pretty easy, right? As long as you glue that piece down the right way, you'll be good to go. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and bring this in here and just put it like that. Let's see. How did I do that? This one looks a little, oh, because I cut my white a little smaller, but that's okay, right? It's all about having fun and figuring out what works for you. It's very, very creative, right? I'll do it that way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do a little ribbon piece. So I didn't pre-do my bow, so we'll do that together. The handy dandy little bow maker. Don't ask me where I got it. A friend gave it to me. But you can do this with a fork too, if you have get a big fork, or even a hair pick. I had a hair pick for the longest time. All right, and I really cut way too much ribbon, but that's okay too. We'll trim it, and then let's take our glue dots, and we're gonna glue dot this right to the middle, and I always take my glue dots, press my project to it, and then pull it off. It does tend to handle it just a little bit better. There you go. And because I need my little bit of bling, I'm gonna go ahead and take some bling from here, and we're just going to add one here since I didn't do it in Petunia, but you do it however you want, obviously. And I'll put one there too. And there you have it. Another Petunia pop card. I just love this color and Summer Sun. Those are turning, or Summer Splash, I should say. Those are two colors that are really catching my attention. And next month we'll do Shy Shamrock. Thanks for joining me, and happy stamping.